This presentation of Lansing Common Football Club is brought to you by the following: Highland Plastics, Die Hard, Moneyball, Ozone's Brewhouse, the Lansing Board of Water and Light, J. Biggs, Dean Trailways, Strange Matter Coffee, Gabriel's Community Credit Union, Greater Lansing Open Soccer, and MetroNet.
Welcome to today's presentation of the Midwest Premier League of Lansing Common FC, host Detroit City FC under 23 side in the 4th of July here at Eastern Stadium. I'm myself, Luca Maloney, alongside Cameron McLaren. Cameron, how are you feeling on this warm Lansing day?
Just as you said it, warm, partner. It's a bit steamy out on the pitch. A nice whopping 87 degrees on the pitch. It's about 5 degrees warmer, as we always say. A nice 93, 94 degrees pitch side, but should be an interesting day as both teams looking to get, some great 3 points on display today as, we got a little bit of action behind us, but we continue.
Absolutely, and as we head into this game, Detroit City FC comes off a 2-1 win earlier this week against the Michigan Stars, where they won 2-1. Goalkeeper Hunter Morris for Detroit was sent off after the Michigan Stars got their first goal of the game, like in the 82nd minute. Cam, they're without their starting goalkeeper Hunter Morris, like I said. Does that change the game now with Sean Ellis in goal?
Well, no matter what, Sean Ellis, you can basically play him in the present or in place of Hunter Morris. He's a great goalkeeper. His freshman season at Kalamazoo, 8 games played, 4 starts, and 4 shutouts, only allowing 3 goals on the season, 31 saves. He's a great goaltender for Kalamazoo, and he should be able to see a little bit of one of his compatriots, Ben Meshke, not in the starting lineup for the Robins. He'll be on the bench, but look for those two Kalamazoo products to go at one another today.
And for Lansing Common, they are coming off a 3-2 victory here at Eastern Stadium last weekend, where they beat BIH Grand Rapids 3-2. It was one of the most intense games we've seen here in the Midwest Premier League from Lansing Common, and it was a much-needed win. Now they are 4-1-1 in the competition and 4th in the standings, tied with 13 points with BIH now.
Yeah, and it was basically going to be a big game from the start. We ended up getting a little bit of a delay due to lightning and rain in the area. The understatement of the year so far, myself calling it a minor rain delay while the tornado sirens were on for at least an hour. But Lansing Common, after getting punched in the mouth, it seemed in the 13th minute, Chris Mendez, great individual effort from him to put one past an outstretched Andrew Nicholson. Lansing Common responded immediately. Aiden O'Connor, 15th minute header, a great header, and it all started from winning corner kicks and creating chances. That's something that's going to need to be on display today, as Lansing Common, they haven't had the best of conversion rates when it comes to chances. Last week was a great showing, and being able to win possession in the opposing third and keeping the possession there, ultimately finding two header goals off of corner kicks and one goal through the run of play while BIH had 10 men.
Absolutely, and we saw that display even without 2 important players, really 3 or 4 important players that Lansing Common did not have. Those included Zach Kelly, Josh Adam, Munir Shirali, and Shetty Omar, especially the goal scorer Shetty Omar, who has 5 goals in the Midwest Premier League this season. They got goals without him, and for us, it was impressive to see that, knowing that other players stepped up to the plate and could put chances away, even if it took a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, and if you take a look at it, the one goal scorer that catches you by surprise is Aiden O'Connor. A lot of us are surprised that he does not have many more set-piece goals. The kid's got a cannon of a leg, but being 6'3", 6'4", in the box, he's just a menace to deal with, and he showed that with his first goal of the season with that header. And then you talk about the 2 people that have scored the second most goals for the club, and that is the captain, Julian Burge, getting his 3rd of the season, once again off a header. He's the set-piece master. And then Kyle Scott from Dante Morissette, the 2nd goal of the game, to kickstart the goal scoring in the second half. Once again, the fullback-to-fullback connection that Josh Oakley had wanted to see from this team when he picked the players to be signed was once again on display last week. But none of that could have started without the heads-up play and the great set-piece management of Noah Canlis. Noah Canlis, he would say that he didn't have the best of games in the friendly last 3 days ago against Fort Wayne, being subbed off after the half-hour mark. But his 2 great services after coming in and in the place of Munir Shirali, the original free kick connoisseur, as I would say, he comes in, does a great job with a lofty right-footed leg and end sweepers and a couple of knuckleballs that were able to put into the back of the net.
Absolutely. And as we see both teams here taking the pitch, we're going to go ahead and look at the starting lineup for Detroit City FC, the visitors today. In goal, as we said, Sean Ellis going through the back line. Number 8, Brady Walker. Number 4, Josh Waits. 20, James Lee. And number 6, Lachlan Hepburn. And rounding up the midfield 5, really, it's going to be Benny Tanyi at the center midfield position alongside Will Perkins. Will Perkins, MSU Spartan, who will see some of his teammates at college here on the pitch. Bosch Tanyi on the left wing. Shion Soga, one of the most creative players for this team, takes that number 10 center attacking midfield role. Number 15, Kellen Landenfield on the right wing. And to round up the team up top, Zion Beaton from Wright State with the number 9.
Yeah, and it's a good team all around for DCFC. James Lee making his 10th consecutive start on the back line. And as we talked about it, 4-2-3-1 is how Detroit City is going to line up today with the brothers Bosch and Benedict Tanyi. But look forward to the number 10, as you said, Shion Soga, a native of Aichi, Japan, is in his freshman year at USF. He already had 2 goals in 9 appearances coming off the bench for the Bulls. He's a great midfield player, and he's even more creative inside an opponent's 18-yard box, winning a couple of penalties so far on the year. Look for them to try to get things started for this DCFC attack.
All right, and now your starting lineup for Lansing Common FC. We're going to go ahead with Zach Kelly in goal. Zach Kelly back into the lineup after missing the game against BIH due to personal reasons. Going across the back line is you're going to see a similar lineup. Dante Morissette on the left. Aiden O'Connor and Josh Adam round up the center backs. And Kyle Scott, goal scorer last weekend against BIH, in the lineup at right back again. Noah Canlis takes the place of Esteban Russell, who is out. 2 assists last weekend for Noah. 11, Lutram Shefku and Julian Burge in midfield. Munir Shirali on the right. And up top, Shedi Omar and Ty Uziak. And we've seen that partnership of Shedi Omar and Ty Uziak a lot this season. And today they're back in the Midwest Premier League after Omar was gone. What do you think they're going to bring to the table in this potent attack against a very strong Detroit defense?
Well, it's going to be the link-up play on the wings. You're going to have to see Ty Uziak and Shedi Omar work the wide areas a lot more than they're used to doing. Shedi Omar likes to play much more in the middle. Ty Uziak, very familiar playing along the wings. He'll probably be the most creative playmaker today alongside Noah Canlis on that right side. But if you take a look at it, Shedi Omar and Ty Uziak, this duo has been pretty dynamic ever since that Michigan Stars game a couple of weeks ago. And that 0-0 draw really sparked the fire and really brought the level of energy up between the two after having, Shedi Omar's hat trick in the 4-0 over Inter Detroit. But ever since that game, they've been looking like 2 dynamic strikers, and that's what is needed for this Robin team if they're going to want to have that potent offensive skill with the front 2. But it's all going to start from the midfield, and I really like the decision for Josh Oakley to go with Lutram Shefku and Julian Burge, the captain, once again. Those 2 players can play holding midfield a lot. They're really good one-on-one with the ball, and Julian Burge is the kind of guy that if tempers start to flare or the emotion runs high, he's the kind of guy that will step up, make a challenge, make a 50-50, and calm the game down. And that's something you want to see out of your 28-year-old midfielder.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree. Lutram Shefku and Julian Burge play almost all the 90 minutes in every game they play, just because they control the tempo of the game so well. And especially Lutram Shefku, he's able to pick passes off, intercept them, and immediately transition into the attack. And that's one of Josh Oakley's main points in this team, and his keys to getting 3 points every night is build from the midfield and use the pace and the power in the attack through the forwards to get some goals. And of course, with the wide play in this game, it's going to be a little different. This Detroit City side has a lot of power and defensive abilities going going towards the wings than other teams Lansing has played this season. What do you think of that, Cam?
Yeah, and if we talk about the wings, there's no bigger matchup than it's going to be between the 2019 Michigan Mr. Soccer winner and this year's Mr. Michigan Soccer winner. Bosch Tanyi on that left side, he scored 49 goals for Grosse Isle, including the state winner this year to have for Grosse Isle to get their second straight championship. But he's going up against the 2019 winner in Aiden O'Connor, who led his team to a championship a few years ago. It's going to be a great battle along the left-hand side. And then to make matters even worse, you have a lot of guys that know each other on this team. Seth Russ has played with a couple of these players, two of them on the subs for Detroit City. Sanad Yaya and Ali Nasser both play for Purdue Fort Wayne along with Seth Russ. He also played with them at Vardar and Club. And then you have the Michigan, what else can you say about the Michigan State versus Michigan State rivalry we will see on the pitch? Will Perkins, Dante Morissette are going to be two players to watch out for DCFC and Lansing Common, respectively.
And here we go, as Detroit City FC will be the team to start the ball off. And we have kickoff. Benny Tyne. Brady Walker on that left back position, getting the tempo started. See Lansing Common FC fans setting the smoke bombs off at the far side of the pitch. Tanyi. And here we go with the ball lands to Dante Morissette. And it's going to be Zion Beaton, almost gets him. Taken immediately back by Shion Soga. Soga takes a whack at it over the bar. And that's one of the things you can't let Shion Soga do, is dribble that ball through the midfield and across your back line and to get a shot or pick off a pass with 4 goals and 1 assist this season.
Yeah, it was a mistake there by Dante Morissette. The ball just magically found its way to him from Sean Ellis, but Lansing Common is going to have to do a lot better than that if they want to keep possession against a team that likes to crowd the middle and gets through passing lanes like DCFC.
And it looks like we do have a little bit of a lineup change. You see Ryan Dobson on the field in the place of Lachlan Hepburn, as we were previously told.
Yeah, a late substitution there. Dobson coming in for Hepburn. Hepburn did play last week in that game against Michigan Stars, coming in the 77th minute, I believe, but still an equally important substitution.
And Will Perkins transitions into his regular right back, a little bit right back position. Perkins plays right back at Michigan State, where his counterpart, Dante Morissette, takes the left side. So it'll be interesting to see that one-on-one matchup with the two college teammates.
Yeah, you talk about Will Perkins, usually on the lineup playing in that right defensive midfield role. He'll be able to slot back more defensively into his favorite right back position.
Here we go. Tanyi over to Zion Beaton on the left. Beaton and Kyle Scott manhandling each other for that ball.
And Kyle Scott, I've talked about him a lot, and I have had the great pleasure to talk to his parents. He's been a right winger most of his life. He ended up switching to that right back position for recruiting purposes, but you see that physicality. You saw it last week against Chernkich for BIH. Able to use his body. He's not the biggest of guys on this Lansing Common team, but he's able to use his body to shield off opposing forwards, something that he would be doing in a striker's role.
Absolutely, and with the ability to control the ball as he does right there, and to be able to play the ball backwards and forwards at the right back position is so important. And it's going to be a Noah Canless cross that's going to find its way out and into the hand, and it's going to be a goal kick for Sean Ellis.
We talked about it in the preview. Common is going to have to work the wide edges if they want to see themselves go forward. The 4-2-3-1 for Detroit, really compact in the middle, and they also get back and press the ball, or press whenever they lose the ball, much like that Italy team that we see in the Euros, partner. You're a favorite of that club. You love that club, and as soon as they lose the ball, they get it right back immediately, and it's all about being in the right channels at the right time and taking away passing options, and that's what DCFC does in the midfield, as we've seen in the first couple of minutes so far. But Common going to have to use the wings more this game than they have in recent memory.
Absolutely, and not just the wings in order to create chances for others, but to create chances for themselves. We have big questions in, can Munir Shirali cut in, find a shot? Can Noah Canlis cut in and find a shot as well? It's going to be important to see because we know how Ty Uziak loves to run down to the diagonal, make his way to the corner flag, while Shetty Omar, being the target forward, stays in a central role, a little deeper as well. It's going to be offside there for Zion Beaton. Lansing ball.
Yeah, Beaton disagrees with the near side linesman, but as we saw in that Fort Wayne game, Josh Adam and Aiden O'Connor had a little bit of mental discrepancies between each other. A lack of communication has led to a couple of goals that they thought would have been offside. They weren't, and it led to 7 being put past Lansing Common goalkeepers Andrew Nicholson and Zach Kelly in the tandem. But on that one, communication was key as both O'Connor and Adams played the high line, and Morissette able to keep Beaton thinking he was on.
And for this Lansing team, too, they're going to have to battle some mental adversity as well, as earlier this week they were beaten 7-0 by USL League 2 side at Fort Wayne FC. Cam, do you think that game, even though we know it was a friendly and mainly used for practice for these players, do you think that beaten like that handles this? Do they think they handle that well?
Well, there's nothing worse than getting punched in the mouth immediately when you step off the bus. That's exactly what happened as Fort Wayne struck early and struck often. But it's all about how you bounce back. And for this team, they've been very resilient in Midwest Premier League matches whenever they've given up the first goal. I believe their only loss on the season was the inaugural Midwest Premier League, their MWPL opener against West Michigan Bearings, where they went down 3-0 in the first hour. But resilience has been a key for this team, and they're going to have to step up against a team that plays similar to Fort Wayne with how they press the ball, especially in the midfield.
Of course, and there is a lot for Lansing Common today. They could move up to second place today if other results go in their favor.
Yeah, it's a pretty calm week in terms of fixtures throughout the MWPL.
But Chef Q here. Little 1-2 with Shetty Omar. It's going to be Ty Uziak on the left side. Ty working his way down the wing, trying to find a cross. Takes on one player. Left-footed cross. It's going to go out. And then we see that craftiness from Ty Uziak like we usually see in these games where he loves that diagonal run.
Yeah, and this is going to be his game to showcase his skills. He's going to get a lot of isolated time along the flanks. That's exactly how Lansing Common is going to move forward.
There we go, Kellen Landenfield. And
right there, it was just his cross. His final touch just let him down. But a good idea for Lansing Common.
It's going to be a through ball over to Bashitani. Zach Kelly into the hands of Zach Kelly.
He looked offsides to me, but a great play there by Bashitani. Goal scorers are going to score goals. He's got that attacking mindset.
And great awareness from Zach Kelly, even though that flag might have gone up. He's still ready and prepared. And Kellen Landenfield, also for Detroit City FC, is a Michigan State Spartan as well. Hasn't seen much of the pitch over in Damon Rensing's side due to injury. But this summer, he's been a key part for this Detroit City FC under-23 side. Yeah,
2 goals and 2 assists in 8 starts, now 9 being on the pitch today. He's a pretty important factor for this DCFC squad, as a lot of their midfielders have multiple goals on the season.
And here we go, Noah Canlis, as Lansing Common transition into the attack. Not finding any options, Canlis is going to boot that one away.
And on a hot day like today, you take a look at a lot of DCFC's recent fixtures. The one that stands out to me is the 2-0 win over Livonia. DCFC controlled most of that game, but they were only able to strike twice in the final 10 minutes. So if you're Lansing Common on a hot day, you can wait out the press of DCFC, pick your chances, find them, and strike. They're going to have to be overtly clinical today if they want to beat the unbeaten team.
And of course, and with, like you said, they won that game with 10 minutes to go against Livonia. That also means that Lansing Common cannot shut their minds off in the last 10 minutes either. It's been a reoccurring theme for this team to sometimes concede late goals, either due to penalties or just a lapse in concentration. So concentration has to be at its max. That lofted ball is going to go over to the hands of Zach Kelly for Lansing.
Yeah, and as we see, once DCFC gets in possession, 4 forwards in the middle of the pitch.
And Aiden O'Connor loses the ball there, and he's just not happy with that, putting his hands in the air, not letting that ball go off quickly. Gonna cross, caught by Zach Kelly. Kelly starting it quickly.
Yeah, he
and there, here we go with Kyle Scott on the breakaway. Over to Noah Canlis. Canlis loses possession. Oh, but Kyle Scott wins it immediately back. Kyle Scott making his way infield. Shot over. That was an impressive run there from Kyle Scott, cutting in and shooting with his weaker left foot.
Yeah, end-to-end right there is Zach Kelly making a great play to keep that ball inside the end line, and it was gone to the races for both Ty Uziak and Kyle Scott. Scott able to dance around both Brady Walker and Josh Waits, but once again, the shot just let him down. Too much arc on it.
And a couple things we've heard from Lansing players is that Brady Walker, they've played against him a lot of these players in the high school, and they said he has a mean left foot. So we have to watch out for that one. Perkins. And Will Perkins for Michigan State last season was one of the standouts at that right back position, taking over a couple seniors who left the year before.
Yeah, a goal and a helper to his name for the Spartans in the 2021 campaign. Not the best of years for the Spartans, they would say so themselves, but a preeminent soccer powerhouse.
And here we go, Ty Uziak going around the defender. He's asking for a foul. Not given. He has to keep playing. Shirali cuts in. Has space, has time. Puts it back out to Dante Morissette. Morissette tries the cross, blocked by Will Perkins. Back to Shirali. Lansing Common just keeping possession. He's going to switch the play over to Kyle Scott. Lovely ball. Canlis on the right side. Picks across. Uziak, touch, shot, over.
And that's exactly what we said in the pregame, as Ty Uziak had to come in, or he had to move out wide and find some space, but it was all from Munir Shirali picking his head up under pressure, finds Kyle Scott on the far side. And a great couple of link-up play along the flanks. Lansing Common, a crossing team, they wouldn't necessarily call themselves that, but...
And Uziak nearly there, cuts out the keeper, is going to go right to Munir Shirali. Intercepted back by Detroit. Scott finds Canlis down the wing. Canlis not going to get there.
Just a little bit too heavy there from Scott, as Canlis is going to have to reserve his energy. He's one of the most vocal leaders on this team, and fitness has been a factor for him recently. He was able to play the full 90 minutes against BIH, which came as a surprise to both of us after being subbed off after the half-hour mark against Fort Wayne. He's going to have his chances, but he needs to make sure that he doesn't spend too much energy quickly. As Lansing Common, they don't have many midfield subs that play the exact way that he does, but you would lose a lot of communication skills.
Like you said, Noah Canlis put in a great shift against BIH. He was winning balls back and defending until the very last second of that game, and he was tired. He was exhausted. We spoke to him. Oh, and then right here, Bashitani shot. It's going to go. Now he couldn't quite get the connection he wanted on that shot.
Yeah, it was a miscommunication along the back line between Josh Adam and Aiden O'Connor. Bosch Tanya, he would want to have that one back as he got the left foot on it, but just too much as it goes off his heel and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, and you have to watch out for Soga again. Soga just loves to create that pass in the midfield. Detroit win it back with Landonfield.
Yes, Dobson shot doesn't trouble Zach Kelly. But warning signs for both teams as the back lines have been stretched for both sides, which is something that both...
Yeah, if you can see right there, look at that. 3 men on Aiden O'Connor as soon as he touches the ball.
But it opens up the midfield.
Opens up the midfield and the wide area. Here we go with Dante Morissette out on the left.
That's a great
Morissette,
ball.
yeah, brilliant ball. Over to Ty Uziak, another brilliant ball. Just curved into the path of Ty Uziak. Uziak couldn't get the foot on it. But great work on the sideline from Dante Morissette.
And that's something that Lansing Common had practiced earlier this week. Only one training session, but working in half spaces. Lutram Shevku able to find the half space on the far side. Plays a lovely ball to Dante Morissette. And Uziak almost able to finish it off. He's had a couple of great chances here within the first quarter of an hour.
And that's the key to this game, really, is playing out of that pressure and finding the wide spaces and making it count. Here we go with Will Perkins on the right side. Perkins. Over to Tanyi. Taken away from Shedi Omar. Uziak knocked down. It's going to be a foul. Going forward for Detroit, and they're going to play it quickly with Will Perkins. Perkins using his body. Over to Landon Field. Right there, Lansing players not happy with the push on the back two. And Zion beaten just there, couldn't find his footing, couldn't find the ball, couldn't put the ball on the ground.
And Josh Oakley is furious.
Yes.
That's 2 fouls that the center referee missed as he's giving an earful to the linesman on the near side. Yeah. He's going to have to be careful as Dante Morissette's having words with the head official. He thought that there was a push on the back. And even before then, the foul going against Ty Uziak as the right chicken wing arm from Josh Waits knocked him over.
Here we go with Josh Adam. Adam, for being so young, he passes the ball so well at the center back position. We've talked about that a lot this season.
And Morissette trying a cheeky pass around both Shirali and Perkins to try to find Shedi Omar along the left side.
Landon Field. Tanyi. Over to Brady Walker. Gonna find the Soga. Soga takes a heavy touch. It's gonna go out for a goal kick for Zach Kelly.
Yeah, and O'Connor has to be careful there because Shion Soga, very crafty inside the 18. He's earned himself a couple of penalties so far this year. He's gonna have to be careful with that late trailing foot as you take a look and you see before Zach Kelly ushers his men forward, when Lansing Common are playing out of the back, DCFC has 3 or 4 guys ready to press, and we've seen a couple of times that the Robins have been able to beat that initial pressure.
A little bit of a head contact from Shedi Omar to what looks like James Lee. Gonna get checked out real quick by the medical staff.
Yeah, he's walking gingerly towards the near touchline. But going up back to my point, Lansing Common, once they're able to break that initial pressure, they have 4 or 5 guys for DCFC that are immediately out of the attack. And with the play of Lansing Common's midfielders, Lutram Shevku and Julian Burge, able to control the ball and pick a pass, they've been able to find a couple of wide open channels and have really given fits to this back line for DCFC with James Lee and Josh Waits having to pick up the slack a little bit, but no goals to their names so far as Lansing Common hasn't been clinical with their chances, but they're getting them nonetheless, which is something that hasn't been said recently.
And I think that this Detroit City FC side does really well is playing those little 1-2 passes with quick one-touch. It's truly, this is going to be one of the toughest teams Lansing is going to face in that midfield.
They are very comfortable playing in the midfield. They have numbers, and they're very comfortable playing with those numbers.
There you go. And it's going to be a foul on Detroit City.
Yeah, Tanyi with a little bit of a hold there to keep Morissette from getting that ball cleanly.
Josh Adam with the ball. Adam carrying it. And that's the thing that what happens is when the ball's not being played quickly, this Detroit City side immediately catches you on that press. Intercepted by Kyle Scott.
Yes.
Tanya with the ball. Soga. Soga just likes to dribble in, give a little hesitation, and then keep dribbling. Gonna be a shot from Tanya over.
Yeah, and
Lansing ball.
We talk about it. They play through the midfield so gracefully. It's like a song, as they zip passes around and switch the field of play in the blink of an eye.
You could say a symphony of passes.
As 4 passes there, we're able to pick apart Lansing Common's defense, but it's holding the ball. They didn't have a lot of numbers going forward, as Adam had to push that ball back, and it ultimately ended in a chance for DCFC.
And here we go with Shiralio and Josh Adam.
And evenly matched, as you see the press, 5 guys along the near side for DCFC against the 4 for Lansing Common.
And then back out to Zach Kelly. They just couldn't beat the pressure. They're going to have to pass it all the way back to their goalie. Uziak with the first time pass, but inaccurate. Dobson waits.
And DCFC, for what they're known for, even in that game against Livonia, something resembling Sherman's March to the Sea, just acting as a snake or a boa constrictor and just wrapping around the opposing defenses and suffocating them like a snake and forcing turnovers is something that they're very good at doing. And that's something that they're going to have to keep doing.
Absolutely, and it requires Lansing to play much quicker. And Will Perkins on the ball again. Lee. But what Lansing Common is doing a great job of doing right now is blocking that direct ball over to Soga. So the backfield, so Waits and Lee can't find Soga immediately, and he can turn 180 degrees and find the forwards.
Yeah, they have numbers in the middle, and Lansing Common is trying to force them wide.
Going to be with Will Perkins. Going to come out Zach Kelly. Going to let the ball run. It's going to be goal kick for Lansing.
MSU product versus MSU recruit there on that one.
And future teammates in just a couple months. And with just about 22 minutes on the clock, it's Lansing 0, Detroit 0.
And a very even game so far, as both teams have had numerous chances to get on the board.
Best chance so far from Lansing was the chance with Ty Uziak with a touch, and then the shot just went over the bar.
Uziak's had the best chances for the Robins, and the same can be said for Bosch Tanyi. We're going to say his name a lot today. He's had the best looks so far for DCFC.
Tanya again. Tanya being a little too clever there. He gets the ball taken away from by Kyle Scott. Omar, great hold-up play. Lutram Shefku. Oh, and that's a great touch to keep the ball in play. And that's an even better pass from Ty Uziak, but Shetty Omar had the man on him. Landon field for Detroit. Long ball over to Tanyi. They're calling offside. Josh Oakley not happy with that. Zion Beaton cutting inside. But over to Dante Morissette. It's going to be cleared out.
And if this is the way that Lansing Common is going to defend, they're going to have a very long day, and Josh Oakley is going to have a very, very long day
and that'll
in
be
the technical areas. We get that hydration break that me and you both talked about in the pregame.
Oh, you'd be crazy not to go without a hydration break here at 90-degree weather in Lansing. A little bit humid as well, I would say.
And I feel bad for the water bottle that was once Josh Oakley's. It is now on the field as he spiked it like Rob Gronkowski would after a Patriots touchdown. It pains me to say that.
Or on a New Year's Eve party with Steve Harvey and his Lego set.
Great pop culture references here, but Josh Oakley, once again, not a fan of the near linesman, who's having himself quite a fun time trying to keep up with the back line of Lansing Common and the forward pressure, the forward runs from Bosch Tanya on the left side.
And for the last 5 to 10 minutes, it's been Detroit City who have been the team asking more questions after Uziak's shot sailed over the bar for Lansing. I think a big key for this is keeping the stamina, keeping the pace in the midfield and in the wing areas alive for Lansing in order to try and beat Detroit down that wing.
Yeah, and Detroit's adjusted so far. After the first 15 minutes, they had Lansing Common had a couple of grade A opportunities with Uziak in the middle. And what you're seeing is something completely different from Josh Oakley's side, where the two forwards in Uziak and Shetty Omar are having to drop back more, create or get themselves open to work those half spaces and create chances. And it worked in the first 15 minutes, but Detroit City has done a great job in basically suffocating this Robin defense whenever they play through the back, and also forcing turnovers when they do get up the pitch. But all in all, I would say possession slightly favoring Detroit City, as the old Spanish way of death by 1,000 passes has been their motto so far, picking apart and taking out players.
But a big part of Detroit City's game plan here is to catch Aiden O'Connor and Josh Adam pushing slightly forward and going in behind them, as we saw a couple times with Landon Field lofting a ball over through the midfield.
Yeah, and it's hard for those two defenders when they have 4 guys that are essentially swapping in and out with that number 11 role. As you see, Bosch Tanya, he's listed on that left side in the left midfield role, but he's been sliding up in the place of Zion Beaton, who's dropped down a little bit to kind of to push that line higher for Lansing Common and to give Bosch Tanya wide open space along the left side, as both O'Connor and Adam have had to drop into the right side. And Kyle Scott a little bit out of position a couple of times there, getting too far forward, but that's something that Lansing Common needs to have, is their fullbacks need to be aware that if the press is not on and the counterattack is not on, they have to hang back a little bit farther than they would like to.
And we get the ball rolling again here at the 26th minute of the game. Landon Field with Detroit City FC. Lee. Back out to Landon Field. And there we go again. Detroit's trying to do that direct ball into the forwards. It's not quite going to get there. That's a beautiful turn and pass from Lutram Shefku. Over to Shetty Omar. Omar, touch. Left-footed. And he's offside.
Just a hair offside is Shetty Omar. The goal wouldn't have counted anyway, as Sean Ellis made a great one-on-one save.
But incredible stuff, and that's exactly what needed to happen. Win the ball quickly. Lutram Shefku, a brilliant turn and brilliant pass out to Morissette, running down the left wing and immediately to the middle.
With the outside of the boot, too. A great pass, the pirouette into the Trivella.
The midfield maestro, Lutram Shefku.
He's pulling out all the stops on this July 4th. Perkins able to easily win that header.
Burge slide tackling in, and it's going to be Perkins here. Josh Adam covering Perkins, cutting inside. Finds across to Soga. Soga, again, hesitation. Shot from Tanyi is going to go over again. That's about the 4th shot over for Detroit City FC.
Yeah, Benedict Tanyi had time and space in zone 14, as Josh Oakley would like to say. Tanyi he's made a couple of appearances with DCFC's senior team this year, 2 appearances. He was on the subs bench last night for their their spring league victory and title win.
Big victory over the Los Angeles Force. And that's a great shot from Tanyi and save. And an even better save from Zach Kelly as he comfortably gets that and gets back up to get the play started. Long throw over to Canlis.
Beautiful throw.
Beautiful throw. Careful, we might have a 2-sport athlete.
Yeah, Bosch Tanyi, he's
going to
get a stern talking to, kicking the ball away, as Kyle Scott likes to start.
A little bit of an unsportsmanlike conduct there from Detroit.
Yeah, he likes to get play started immediately, and The referee
Have
is
to
going to
wait
make
for
him
his-
start it again,
He has
which
to wait for his whistle.
only favors DCFC. Smart play there by the recent Grosse Isle graduate.
And if he can find Morissette, it's not nearly going to get there as Perkins heads that one to the feet of Landenfeld. Dobson over to Beaton. Beaton on covered by 2. Perkins infield. And what Soga does really well is he feels the pressure on his back, and he can play a ball directly back to you with 2 guys on him. So you have to watch out for a player like that. It's going to be a cross in the middle, blocked out by Josh Adam. Brilliant defending from the young center back.
Cheeky nutmeg there by Omar.
Not sure if that was intentional, but he got that. Landenfeld.
And here we see all 11 players for Lansing Common getting behind the ball, but not just that, getting behind that second level of offensive pressure.
Shirali covering Perkins. Perkins turn. And again, this quick one-touch passing through that midfield. And great defending there from Ty Uziak to win the ball back, but Omar's eventual pass goes out for Detroit ball.
Something about this Detroit City side is they play the triangles very well, and you saw it on that last exchange.
Well, they have been playing a lot more games than Lansing, so that could be a factor as well. They've been playing a little longer together this season. And here we go, Uziak with 2 little turns to find Noah Canlis, but Sean Ellis is going to get there first, the goalkeeper. Tanyi.
And it seems like Lansing Common is just going to wait out this pressure by Detroit City FC and try to find a quick couple of chances. And you're starting to see that Detroit City's midfield is a little bit overzealous whenever they do lose the ball and trying to get it back, as 2 pirouettes by both Lutram Shevku and Ty Uziak have been able to win some possession and some time and space for Lansing Common to pick out a couple of passes, which is something that they haven't been able to do in the past 10 minutes.
Dante long throw in over to Uziak. And Lansing players calling for a handball there.
That is something that the linesman on this near side is going to have to look at. He had a great view of it, and his flag did not go up. I'm sorry, but you have to look at that.
We're going to see here play restarted. Detroit win the ball back. Dobson. It's going to go out long, but Aiden O'Connor, the goal scorer from last weekend for Lansing, gets the ball. Kyle Scott. Burge. Over to Canlis. Canlis doesn't get there.
Yeah, Zion Beaton did a good job of backtracking, caught Burge off guard, forced him to make a mistake, and DCFC once again retaining possession.
Will Perkins on the right side over to Landenfeld. Here we go with Zion Beaton holding the ball up in play in his a little unnatural left wing position. Lutram Shevki wins the ball back, takes on a player, wins. Over to Shirali. Shirali, great switch of play over to Kyle Scott, who has space on that right side, but not many options going forward for him. He's gonna have to be a little patient. Uziak on the right. Quick 1-2 with Noah Canlis. Again, the ball just skips a little too fast for him.
And that's something that Lansing Common tried to work on in practice last Monday, was with Uziak being there in that half space, Canlis up a little bit more, able to try to play that 1-2, but he wasn't going to get on the end of that as it was just too far out in front of him. But great idea, just needing a little bit more on the execution if they want to make that count.
Perkins. Beaton playing a little quick 1-2s through the midfield with Beaton and Soga. but the eventual long ball is going to go over to Zach Kelly. Zach Kelly gets the play started over to Kyle Scott. Scott marching his way down the wing.
Oh, you have to make that ball. You have to make them count.
You're not going to get a lot of chances going forward, and exactly as you said, you have to make those passes count. Here we are with 34 minutes on the clock, still level at 0-0. Soga. Perkins on the right back position. Dante coming in like a bulldozer.
It's a great play by Dante, but going back to my previous point, Bosch Tanya was way out of position, forcing Scott to have a lot of time and space, and his ball just let him down, and that's something that they're going to have to clean up if they want to have more chances.
Morissette wins the ball again. Julian Burge in the midfield. Lansing Common just being a little patient on the ball, hoping to catch Detroit. And Shetty Omar there's going to be outmanned. Mooney Shirali. Great touch from Ty Uziak to beat the defender on the one-on-one. It's going to be Uziak. Uziak still chasing the ball.
Uziak got a slight tug there by Lee, but was able to try to dance around in a good shielding effort by Josh Waits. But Lansing Common, they're not going to get a lot of counterattack opportunities, as multiple times the DCFC's had numerous people back. But playing through their center backs is something that's going to be on display.
And here we go with Kyle Scott. And a shot from Zion Beaton. Kyle Scott's pass wasn't going to get to Zach Kelly. Zion Beaton intercepted that and nearly pokes one past Zach Kelly. That's a great stop there.
But it's a mental mistake by Kyle Scott that even allows that ball to even get to the feet of Zion Beaton.
Those balls cannot happen, and Lansing Common should be well aware of that. Here we go, Noah Canlis on the ball. Back out to Kyle Scott. Scott with time. Chef Q. All right, there's Josh Adam, the distributor.
DCFC is a very well-disciplined team when it comes to their defensive shape, so it's going to take a lot of mental power for Lansing Common to break down this defensive shell that they have going on.
And this is a big test for both Aiden O'Connor and Josh Adam. They haven't quite faced a forward with the pace and power of Zion Beaton yet of this season.
Yeah, Beaton's game winner last week against Michigan Stars was his third goal of the season.
There we go, Uziak driving through the middle, lays it off to Omar. Omar to Morissette into the middle. It's gonna be cleared out. Calling for a handball, and it's a penalty. The ball bounced off the ground back into the hand of James Lee, and it's going to be a penalty for Lansing Common.
James Lee wants to know why there's not a foul called against Uziak. He felt he was shoved in the back, but the referees let those go so far in this game. And James Lee, his arm outstretched, there's nothing he can do. And DCFC's bench irate at the call. And Shetty Omar.
Omar with the chance to get his 6th goal in the Midwest Premier League.
And even better, a break for Lansing Common. They've been on the ropes, and this is a huge opportunity for the Robins. And Omar knows it. As the head referee is talking to DCFC's coach over why he gave the penalty, which is only favoring DCFC and getting into the mind of the shooter. I don't agree with this. I believe the fourth official should be the one doing this. But who am I to say? I'm just a commentator. But the head referee has had himself a little bit of a tough time here this afternoon with a couple of the calls that he's let go. But this one, a handball nonetheless.
Shetty Omar, the designated penalty kick taker. Ref blows his whistle, and it's saved! Shetty Omar's shot to the left side, saved by goalkeeper Sean Ellis.
A great chance, and they have to convert that one if you're Lansing Common. But once again, the center referee going over to the Detroit City bench and explaining it only favors the goalkeeper even more. But Sean Ellis, a great save going to the right. Not enough pace if you're Shetty Omar.
Omar, who netted his last penalty for Lansing Common today, his is saved.
But a corner kick.
Canlis into the middle to Omar. Omar gets the head on it, but it's just out.
Will Perkins did just enough to get him off balance as Omar's header, not enough direction on it. And a chance goes begging for Lansing Common.
And we know how much Shedi Omar is self-critical of himself. I'm sure he's going to want one back after missing it. James Lee again to Landenfeld. And with 39 minutes on the clock, Lansing Common failed to convert the penalty spot from Shedi Omar.
And that's all Detroit City needed was a shot in the arm, and I think they've got it.
And I think this is the wake-up call here for Lansing Common, knowing that those penalty situations aren't going to fall every time, and they got away with one.
They have to make their chances count.
Omar taking the ball away from Soga. Beaten.
And once again, DCFC going to work the far side of the field and get those triangles coming.
Here we go with Waits playing out of the back. Tanya over.
And if you're Shedi Omar, you have to put that, you have to have the memory of a goldfish, 10-second memory. You can't let those chances just draw back into your head. It's not going to be good for you, especially if you're a striker of that caliber.
Absolutely, Shedi Omar. Like I said, we know how self-critical he is. I'm certain in his mind he wants to get one back, and if he can, he's going to get two. There we go, Josh Adam.
And that's something that DCFC does really well, is putting center backs under pressure, forcing mistakes.
Shefq. But when you have players like Shefq and Burge and Sharali who can play quickly off of defenders and play out of pressure. And look at that. That's a brilliant switch over to Dante Morissette. Dante covered by Will Perkins. Sharali. Adam again under pressure. Goes back to Zach Kelly.
It's a good play by Soga.
And it's clear to see why Kelly was the first choice keeper in today. He's going to have to use his feet a lot more than usual. And Zach Kelly's one of the most comfortable goalkeepers at his age to play out of the back with his feet.
Yeah, and Lansing Common, they're going to try to stretch out the midfield of DCFC. It worked in the first 15. They were starting to get back to it. Playing through the back, as it seems, is Munir Sharali having to drop back a little bit more with Dante Morissette taking up the wings, or taking up his spot on the wing. But Common looking to try to get on the board before the first 45.
And look at that, Shedi Omar's pass. Uziak inside. Uziak puts it wide. Uziak and Omar did everything right.
Omar
with the finish.
Omar with the dummy, but Ty Uziak, I believe, one touch too many. He could have chipped Sean Ellis if he wanted to. His left foot goes just wide, and another chance begging. And if you're Lansing Common, you have to get back now as Detroit City. All they needed is a shot in the arm. You don't want to give up. They don't want to give up a goal, but dangerous chances is one way to wake this team up.
You know, and they say goals that aren't scored are going back. Will come back to haunt you. Omar doing a great job of holding up play.
You want to strike first while the beast is asleep. Oh, wow.
And here we go. Canlis has a clear lane over to goal. Canlis takes a shot. And it's in! It's a goal for Noah Canlis. Lansing Common up 1-0 in the 42nd minute thanks to Noah Canlis. And that's the shot they've been looking for, and it's finally converted.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. And try again, the Robins did. Two beautiful plays by the Robins. One goes begging. Ty Uziak will have nightmares of that. But Lansing Common, the better of the two teams since that penalty was awarded. And it's great play, working those half spaces along the right side. It's been a field day along the left side between Benedict Tani playing too far up and Brady Walker with the dummy. A great play and a great read as Noah Canlis, 2 assists last week, gets his goal, a deserving goal for the young man from Alma.
The Naperville High School star, Noah Canlis, gets a goal today. And his performances over the last few games in the Midwest Premier League have been amazing. And he caps off why he's in the starting lineup today.
And DCFC trying to get once again on the front foot.
Canlis, big ball over to Shadi Omar.
And if you're Lansing Common, you do not want to give up a late stage goal. All eyes are going to be on the front three, beating Soga and Bosch Tanyi. They're going to look to get forward as they've been all day. And Aiden O'Connor and Josh Adam have their biggest test yet.
There we go. Adam with Beaton. Beaton crosses it into the middle. It's going to be saved by Zach Kelly. And we have 3 minutes of added time on the clock from the fourth official.
Well, seeing as that water break took about 2 minutes.
It makes sense, and with the penalty stop. And here we go. Omar to Uziak. Uziak driving down the left. And he beats his man. Beats Josh Lee, but it's going to be intercepted by Will Perkins. Landon Feld playing out of the back to Soga.
And Shirali's got to get back.
Soga, who was really active in the first 20 minutes, not much now. Soga going through the middle. It took about 4 players to stop him, but Lutrim Shefku did it.
He's dangerous.
He's a dangerous player on the dribble. I don't think Lansing Common have faced a player as clever on the dribble as Soga in the Premier League.
And on the other end, Ty Uziak was being yelled at to win the corner, but it's funny because James Lee has to give him that space because Ty Uziak, all the film on him says he'll give you the little head fake and go byline, but you still have to give him the grace of taking it inside.
There we go. Long ball from Detroit City is going to be headed down and into the hands of Zach Kelly. Kelly taking his time.
And Kelly is going to try to waste as much time as possible. He sliced that one.
There we go. O'Connor boots one out.
And Lansing Common has done really well with forcing Detroit City into those wide areas. And when they do get inside, there's always 2 or 3 players in red shirts that are there to try to take away the triangle passes. They're going to have to put in a surreal effort here in the last 2 minutes.
There we go. Soga, but it's offside. Brilliant ball to switch the play and find Tanyi on the run, but it's going to be offside.
And I believe Morissette's going to be the player that is going to have to keep that line from falling back any farther. He plays a little bit higher on that left side, but Kyle Scott on the other side is the guy that will play the furthest up the pitch of the 4 fullbacks. But he's going to be the main communicator along with Zach Kelly to make sure that Josh Adam and Aiden O'Connor do not put that line too far back.
And speaking of it, here goes Uziak with the chance of redemption into the middle to Omar. Omar puts it wide, it's still in. It's going to go back all the way back out to Munir Shirali. Shirali cutting inside. Takes his touch out with his left. Crosses it in the middle. No one there. Burge at the outside of the box. Takes a whack at it. And it's in! It's in!
Julian Burge!
Julian Burge puts the hammer.
Talk about statements! The captain does it again!
Top shelf into the top right corner from Julian Burge. Takes a whack at it right before the halftime whistle.
I was just about to say, have a whack at it. Sean Ellis said, go for it. And Ellis has to look to his left because it stays in. He's rooted to the spot as Julian Burge puts a laser past Sean Ellis. He's only given up 3 goals in his collegiate as a freshman in Kalamazoo. He's given up 2 today.
And here we go with just about halftime rolling in. Lansing 2, Detroit 0.
And Coach Oakley ushering his team to put pressure on the ball to not give up one just before the halftime break. And
Julian Burge, just a side-footed shot to the top right corner. You could hear that ricochet off the goal. Dear Lord. Happy 4th of July, everybody, and there's still 45 minutes left to go.
We'll meet you back here with about 10 minutes before the half kicks off. Lansing 2, Detroit 0.
Today's halftime game is brought to you by Greater Lansing Open Soccer, Lansing's #1 destination for soccer leagues and tournaments. Today they will be hosting a small-sided scrimmage for kids ages 7 and up. So come on down to the field for a chance to take a picture with the Gloss Championship Champions Trophy. Ozone's Brewhouse is Lansing's home for soccer. Ozone's offers a wide variety of beers, ciders, seltzers, as well as their own on-site food truck. Stop by their Old Town tasting room after the match for a pint of Common Cause and some wood-fired pizza. Find them online at ozonsbrewhouse.com. Strange Matter Coffee offers donuts and coffee made the hard way at their Michigan Avenue shop. You can pick up a bag of their Early Bird Blend on the south end of the field. $5.17 of every purchase of the Early Bird Blend goes to Lansing Common FC, and the remaining proceeds will be donated to support the Lansing community.
And welcome back to Eastern Stadium. Happy 4th of July again. Lansing Common have the 2-0 lead over Detroit City FC's under-23 side with goals from Noah Canlis and the captain, Julian Burge. Cam, we saw a half that could have been a game of itself, really. Missed shots, a missed penalty, and just chances going everywhere for both sides. But at the end of the day, 2 goals in around 5 minutes for Lansing Common sealed the half. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a very, very fast opening start. I mean, both teams trying to figure each other out. And the first 15 minutes, it looked like Lansing Common had the better of the two teams with their chances, just unable to capitalize on a lot of them. And then it was all DCFC and Lansing Common. A couple of mistakes at the back, most notably Kyle Scott's back pass to Zach Kelly, and Zion Beaton had a right foot to it, but Kelly, for lack of better imagery, stacked the pads on him, closed down him, and kept this a 0-0 game. And then a couple of grade A opportunities for the Robins kind of go to waste in the beginning in that first 15 minutes, but started to get going offensively. And Shetty Omar got the penalty after James Lee's outstretched arm was called. He did not like it, neither did his coach, as he received the talking to asking why he felt he got pushed in the back by Ty Uziak, and he did, but the referee was not calling those early in the game, so he elected to let that one go, resulting in the penalty, but ultimately missed by Shetty Omar. But they continued. Shetty Omar realized, you know what, maybe that was not my chance. He makes a dummy run on the inside, and a great pass finds its way to Noah Canlis, who makes up for his compatriots' previous mistakes, finds the touch onto his right foot, keeps it close enough to his body to where he doesn't have to necessarily toe poke it, and he gets it into his wheelhouse and strikes it far corner. And then what else can we talk about? The captain. Just a wonderful strike from just about 30 yards out, as he was able
Side foots at home.
A few great opportunities. And for Lansing Common, that is something that they've been good about doing in recent memory, is when they've created chances, they've capitalized on them. It may not be the first time, but as we saw in that BIH game, a total of 7 set pieces were needed for 2 of their goals. But Julian Burge had himself a look up, noticed that the seas parted way, and just rifled it past an awestruck Sean Ellis, who was rooted to the spot, and like a deer in headlights could only look onward as that ball sailed to his left.
And with his 4th goal in the Midwest Premier League, he is just 1 goal behind the goal scorer, Shetty Omar, in goal tallies for this season for Lansing Common. And for Detroit City's FC side right now, it looks like there's 2 changes being made. Both Benny Tanyi and Bosch Tanyi look to have subbed out for number 13, Keith Larson, and Wasim Matana with the number 99 on his back. Looks like they're going to go into that midfield position and left wing.
Yeah, it's 2 offensive substitutions for this DCFC side. Keith Larson is the main threat if you're Lansing Common. 3 goals and 2 assists in his 8th and now 9th appearance. But Lansing Common will be able to start with possession to open the second half, but it's going to be a lot of defending for this team, as the next goal will completely change the complexion of this game. And Josh Oakley has focused. He's said it too many times that they've given up goals in positions that they should not have. It's going to be a very tough test against this very, very disciplined DCFC side. But Lansing Common, 2-0.
And now here we are with the ball rolling in the second half. Both sides have switched. Lansing Common with their red jerseys, and Detroit with wearing all white.
Offsides.
Offsides. Looks like for Zion Beaton. And there's still a lot of ball left, is what the main topic of conversation was at halftime. It's only been 45 minutes. Another 45 minutes, anything could happen. Detroit City FC side is known to score late goals and not really stop until the final whistle is blown. And for Lansing Common, a theme for them, like we said earlier in this game, they also concede late goals. So today could be a game to change that storyline for both sides.
And it's a smart substitution for DCFC as Benedictani comes out and Wasim Muthana will take his, or will slide in for his role, as Benny was in the senior squad last night.
There we
Had
go.
to be match ready.
Mathana with a cross saved by Zach Kelly. Kelly with a great performance in the first half. And like we said, there was no question as to his ability on the ball with his feet, of why he was so important, because passes were being sent back to him when pressure was on Lansing Common, and he dealt with that pressure nicely.
Yeah.
And right here, Noah Canlis' pass was not telegraphed to Kyle Scott.
Yeah, after conceding that pressure between the 15th and 30th minute, Lansing Common was able to play from the back.
Gives a little cheeky loft over to Ty Uziak. It's going to be a corner kick for Lansing at the 47th minute.
Yeah, James Lee had to be careful there as that ball just squeaked between him and Brady Walker, and Lee got the touch to send it out past the byline.
Lansing sending their big boys, Aiden O'Connor, Dante Morissette, Burge, Adam, all towards the box and edge of the box. And to take it is the guy who got the 2 assists off the set pieces and the corners last time out, Noah Canlis.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the way that DCFC has been defending corner kicks all year, similar to the way that BIH has, and a lot of other teams have defended set-piece corner kicks in this Midwest Premier League. 2 guys near the byline
And here we
playing
go.
onside.
Canlis, outswinger to the back post. Couldn't find the head of Aiden O'Connor. O'Connor tries to keep it alive. Over to Adam. The center back's working down that right side now. Scott, Kyle Scott, has to send it back to Zach Kelly. Kelly under pressure from the Mathana. And right there, Lansing Common FC asking for a foul. Beaten, dribbles past one, passes to Keith Larson up top. Larson, the goal scorer, also last time out for Detroit City FC against the Stars. And that's a great tackle there from Mooney Shirali and Shefku working together to stop the player.
Yes, Oakley giving instructions to his side to force Keith Larson outside. And it's something that they were able to do with a lot of the heavy-hitting strikers for DCFC early on in the game. Kind of got away from it in that for parts of that first half.
Here we go, Perkins into the middle, shot, and it's gonna be saved from. It looks like Kyle Scott got the deflection on. That's gonna be a corner kick for Detroit.
Yeah, good block there by Kyle Scott. Finds its way to Wasim Muthana in that 6-yard box, and Kyle Scott able to deflect it away. But as we said, after conceding the first goal, DCFC looked strong. They're going to look to try to get one back early and completely change the outlook of this game.
And now here we go with the in-swinging corner from Soga. Kelly punches that away. Dobson back to Perkins. Perkins looking for that big switch over to Soga. Soga headed touch. He's on Canlis. Beats Canlis to that. Soga getting a little clever there. Tries to skip past. To the feet of Brady Walker. Lee again. Perkins. We go with Landon Field. To the hands of Zach Kelly. Zach Kelly's going to push everyone forward.
Yeah, and Common there allowing time and space in the middle of the field for Detroit center backs to get up as Dobson was able to deflect that onto the goal frame.
And here we go with Aiden O'Connor, direct ball to Canlis. Canlis got the ball taken away from him. Beaten. Julian Burge defending. Burge gets a little touch. It's going to go out to Keith Larson on the left. Canlis defending. Canlis, great tackle. Wins it back. Canlis over to Uziak. Uziak had the man on his back but could not see him. And it's going to be Waits winning the ball back. Dobson over to Perkins.
Yeah, and DCFC doing a great job in this first 5 minutes to win the ball back immediately after giving it up, putting Lansing Common players under pressure, specifically Noah Canlis. He's going to have to be tough.
Larson. Adam with the ball. Gets a touch. Shafku, great ball over to Morissette again. That one time with Morissette on the run. Morissette had to backtrack a little bit. It's going to be a ball intended for Shetty Omar. It's going to go to the feet of Sean Ellis.
Yeah, it took a deflection there off of Perkins, and Ellis had lots of time to deal with that one.
And it looks like on the sideline, Trevor Togi for Lansing Common getting ready to check in.
Oof, great pass.
Larson beats Kyle Scott to that. Larson dribbles inside on his left. Adam, great tackle, gets all the ball. 100% ball won by the young center back, Josh Adam, future Michigan State Spartan. They're bounced off his own teammate, Soga shot. Landenfield on the right. Soga, Perkins. Again, quick touch passing, cut off by Lutram Shefku.
Just not enough communication as warning signs, clear and present danger for the Robins as they keep giving the ball away.
And there a little bit of lack of communication there between Shirali and Morissette.
And that's a good sign there. Zach Kelly takes some time because Lansing Common look a little bit discombobulated coming out of the halftime break.
Shefku. Morissette over to Shirali. Uziak holding the ball up all the way back to Dante. Dante long ball. It's going to go out for a Detroit throw-in just about the half. And quickly, it's going to be a substitution here coming. Like we said, Trevor Togi. Looks like the man subbed off will be Noah Canlis. Canlis with a goal today. Great first half performance. Going to be subbed off. Trevor Togi for the current Trine University midfielder.
Yeah, and it's a very good sub. Noah Canlis, you're losing a lot of communication, but Trevor Togi, he may look small, but he uses that low center of gravity very well. And he's going to have a tough challenge ahead of him trying to defend Keith Larson along that left side. It's going to be a battle here for the last 40-some-odd minutes.
And here we go. We're going to see Trevor Togi in action defensively. And one back. Took three players there from Lansing. Soga. And then Oakley right here shouting instructions, asking Lansing players to push Detroit as far as they can towards the sidelines, not allowing them to pass into the middle.
Yeah, as we said in the first half, it was something that DCFC had a lot of grace doing, is passing through the middle, forcing them to the wide areas is something that Lansing Common was going to have to do at the onset of this game. And they've lost a little bit of their stride so far.
And here we go, Perkins. Soga gets the ball taken away and cleared by Kyle Scott.
And if you're Lansing, you have to wait out this pressure and force some dinky chances, because as of right now, they have not been able to possess any of the ball since kicking off the second half.
And with the 2-0 lead right now, this will also test Coach Oakley's decisions into how they're going to kill this game off. He always knows, and Josh Oakley talks to us a lot about how Lansing Common is able to win the game, but not exactly kill the game off. Here, I think they have an excellent opportunity for a third goal and really kill this game.
Yeah, but as of right now, they're not looking like they're going for it, as they're just waiting out this pressure.
There you go, Keith Larson. Shielding. Brady Walker. Crosses into the middle. Into the head of Mathana, but Mathana not able to get a clear contact on that. It's going to go out. It's going to be a Lansing goal kick.
Yeah, Landefeld blocked Morissette's clearance, and that's something good for Lansing Common, is they can take a little bit of a breather, as it's been Detroit City with their foot on the gas trying to get that first goal. And as we said, going into that first 40, or after that, into the halftime break, Detroit City, all they needed was a shot in the arm, and they woke up a little bit late. It took them a little bit to get into this game, but Now going down 2-0. It's a little bit of desperation, but it's a calm and collected group that is on the field.
Sheffield, great touch there from Togi to keep that ball in play. There's go Ty Uziak, who's onside. He's on. Uziak down that left. Called it a little late. It's going to be offside on Ty Uziak. It's going to be Detroit ball right around the 20-yard line.
Yeah,
and they're going to play it quickly. Here we go.
If you're on the front foot, why stop?
There we go. Scott just couldn't get the touch on that, but luckily Zach Kelly able to cover his man.
And that's going to be the battle for the rest of this game is Kyle Scott against Keith Larson. Larson scoring the goal just before the Lightning break against the Stars last week for DCFC. They completed the season sweep of Michigan Stars, the only other U23 team in the Midwest Premier League.
And Larson almost a really physical matchup too, almost here as tall as Aiden O'Connor for Lansing Common. Tough guy to keep out of the box and keep out of play.
And if you're really looking for the spark for Lansing Common, it's going to come from a couple of these players that have ties with those wearing white. As you saw, Dante Morissette taking on Will Perkins, winning that.
Sheffield with the ball. Togi to Julian Burge. Julian Burge just stumbles there. Morissette. Back to Morissette. Shirali and Morissette trying to play out of this pressure on that left side. There we go, Josh Adam dribbles through the middle. Like we said, Josh Adam, a comfortable player on the ball for a young center back like him. Again, Keith Larson here against Kyle Scott.
Great turn away from pressure from him. The young West Michigan Bronco.
Zach Kelly. Over to Shirali, Burge in the midfield. Ty Uziak in that midfield with space in that pocket. He's going to be patient, turn around. Shirali again with the big switch over to Aiden O'Connor.
He's looking for that run. Kyle Scott's not going to get on the end of it.
Yeah,
but Scott's got to be careful because he does not need to be playing that far forward.
And it looks like here Julian Burge is on the ground. Going to take a little bit of a break. But it looks like Marco Bernardini is going to come on for him. Julian Burge, goal scorer and captain for today, is going to come off at the 59th minute of the game and give the captain's armband to Bernardini.
Julian Burge's strike just before the stroke of halftime put Lansing up 2-0 as Zion Beaton will come off for Sanad Yaya.
And this might be a great game for Bernardini to make a great impact as well. We know how well Bernardini is in playing out of pressure and playing against a lot of men on him. I think it's going to be key because he plays the ball really fast and he's able to find options going forward. I think it's a great substitution now that Julian Burge looked a little hurt there with his leg.
He's a great holding midfield player. He's even better in futsal, so I've heard, which is going to help, especially against the team in DCFC. They've been putting Lansing Common under pressure for most of this game, and they're going to have to turn out of tight spaces. That was something that I was thinking about at halftime, was how Lansing Common had been dealing with DCFC's pressure. They had opportunities to turn out of pressure and pick a couple of passes in that final 10 minutes of the half, which resulted in their 2 goals. But now it seems as though DCFC is putting more players towards the ball, meaning that players like Lutram Sheffield and now Marco Bernardini are not going to have as much time to pirouette and not have enough space. They're going to have to find those passes to get out of pressure. And now Lansing Common can try to get some pressure going forward because they have not had very much of the ball within this first 15 minutes since the halftime break.
There we go with the throw-in for Dante Morissette. Uziak pressuring the defenders. Ball cleared out. You know, and as the sun starts to strike your skin a little bit more at now 3:30 p.m., it's going to feel hot down there. And it's been a very hot morning.
And it's not just the sun, it's the fact that they're playing on a brand new turf field approaching near the hottest part of the day, the 4 or 5 o'clock time frame. Because most people believe the hottest part of the day is when the sun is highest in the sky, and that's actually false. For those of you out there who have dabbled a little bit in meteorology, when the sun is able and the ground is able to absorb all of the sun's heat, it doesn't begin to release that until the sun is fully away, and that hottest part of the day is around 4 p.m.
Oh, and you can feel it here tonight. And there we go with Shetty Omar trying to play out Cal Scott. Mathana.
Oof. And you're seeing the head of the snake that is DCFC getting around and rounding up the troops for Lansing Common and squeezing the ball away from them and squeezing them into pressure into tight situations. As I said in the first half, resembling Sherman's march to the sea. Sherman's march was successful, but DCFC so far, 0s on the board.
There you go, corner kick headed just sails over to the other side. It's going to be a throw-in for Lansing Common right by their own corner flag.
And Muthana wants a foul on Morissette in the box, but both players going for the ball. You can't really call too much.
Not enough contact there to call anything.
I would get if it was an outstretched arm, but both players going for a 50-50 in the air.
Morissette
Hard to find anything off of that.
finds Omar. And this is dangerous, playing back into the middle for Lansing Common here as the pressure rises. And that's going to be a great ball over to Cal Scott, just a little too far for him.
And Scott's got to drop back here.
He's got to drop back, especially with Samad Yaya coming in to that left side of Detroit, going towards Cal Scott.
Yeah, he hasn't
pushing
had,
Mr. Keith Larson towards the middle.
Yeah, as Adam picks up a slight knock there, but Sanad Yaya plays his football at Purdue Fort Wayne alongside Lansing Common forward Seth Russ. He also played club at Vardar with him. He hasn't made many appearances for DCFC in this season. Of the 9 games, he's only played in 3, making his 4th appearance today. 1 assist in the
Shirali
process.
going inside. Omar takes a whack at it with his left foot, saved by Sean Ellis. But here we go, that's the first shot on target for Lansing Common in this second half, 64 minutes in.
And it was Lansing Common winning the ball in a high area, and Shetty Omar on his weaker left foot wasn't able to beat Sean Ellis.
That's great defending there from Aiden O'Connor. It's going to go back to Josh Adam. Foul called here on the left side towards midfield.
Togi wondering how, but Mathana went down. They'll earn themselves a free kick just over the halfway line.
Ben Meshke warming up for Lansing Common on the sideline. Another forward. Change could be coming soon.
And it's a forward with some trickery involved too. Ben Meshke almost had a goal last week, cleared off the line.
And created so many chances in that game, Meshke, in like the 60 minutes that he played.
And he's fine with working in the wide areas, which is what Common is going to need to do going forward.
That's a touch from Brady Walker past Kyle Scott. And now Yaya playing against Bernardini. Bernardini taken down.
Oh, that's a dangerous free kick and a foul given against Bernardini for the arm as Sanad Yaya took it on the ground.
It's going to be a yellow card for Bernardini shown to him. 65 minutes in.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything that Bernardini could do.
I don't
He's
think
being
it was anything
taken down from behind.
Of course, I don't think there was anything intentional at that, or if he got a whack, because Bernardini went down as well. So maybe just an unintentional whack of the arm to the face.
I mean, both players going down, Yaya trying to win the ball back, and Bernardini goes down as well and
the foot.
Trying to protect himself from falling.
Yeah, we're seeing on the
instinctively puts his arm backwards, but
we're seeing on the cameras there, it was a foot caught from Bernardini, it seems like.
And this is a grade A opportunity for Shion Soga to either put in a dangerous swinging ball or to go for it himself, as Zach Kelly has both Josh Adam and Trevor Togi on the wall. And this is where man marking comes into play, something that Lansing Common hasn't done in training recently.
You have to watch out for the big heads of Keith Larson in there.
Yeah, number 13 at the back post. And a player going forward is Yaya is making himself a nuisance in front of Kelly.
And it just sails over. Zach Kelly had to make a dive for that, but didn't get any fingers as it went over the bar. Going to be Lansing goal kick here, but a dangerous free kick from Soga.
Yeah, he did not miss by much there. It goes right in between both crossbars, the football and the soccer crossbar. He missed by maybe a foot. Maybe Zach Kelly could have saved it if it was more on target, but either way, they'll take that as we have another substitution coming up for.
It's going to be Ali Nasser warming up on the sideline, checking in with the fourth official.
And Lansing Common playing from the back for most of that the late half of the first half, getting their opportunities going forward. Now not having as much time to pick those passes, and Detroit City, the better of the two sides coming out of the halftime break, just 22 minutes into the second half.
There we go. Pass cut out by Aiden O'Connor. O'Connor dribbling upfield. No one there to find him. It's O'Connor's second pass that hasn't found a teammate in this second half. It's going to signal a water break here at the 68th minute of the game, where Lansing Common still lead 2-0 over Detroit City FC's under 23 side.
And Marco Bernardini still talking to the center referee about his decision to show him the cheese, as Ken Seelman would say. Though I believe the arm was outstretched, I don't think there's anything Bernardini could do to protect himself. Yes, this is a cushiony surface, but a broken tailbone is not something you want to get if you're a soccer player as well as anybody. Falling the wrong way could have that happen, but this water break, monumental for Lansing Common if they want to devise any strategy to get out of the pressure that DCFC has had so far, because to be frank, they've looked the better of the two sides in this second half. And
of course, we're here edging 70 minutes into this second half, and Detroit City FC is the one pressuring and asking questions of Lansing Common, but have yet to really get a clear chance on goal other than the free kick a couple minutes ago. But with 20 minutes left to go, anything can happen, and Lansing Common need to stay sharp in order if they want to seal this 3 points.
As we saw against Livonia City, Detroit City put 2 against them in the final 10 minutes, including a penalty kick in the 81st to get things started. Detroit City waiting and trying to find their chances. They had a good one there. Soga did not miss by much. And for Lansing Common, they're going to have to discuss some strategy, and they're going to have to put in a very hard-working and a very valiant effort in this final 22-plus minutes, given the stoppage time that will be allotted due to the water break, if they want to put DCFC on the brink of their first loss of the season. It's going to be tough, but Lansing Common, they are going to need to find a way to break through this pressure, because the next goal in this game is going to be instrumental in changing the outlook of this game. I know we say it a million times, and Coach Josh Oakley is not going to be pleased with how his team has defended and tried to kill this game.
And as both teams take back the pitch, it looks like the ball's going to get rolling here at the 70th minute.
As I believe Nasser came in for Will Perkins for Detroit City.
Zion Beaton and Will Perkins both on the bench for Detroit City FC. Two of their most athletic players with speed and pace, power.
And both Tanya brothers.
And both Tanya brothers as well. They bring such a technique to the team. Dante Morissette right there cuts out the pass.
No options going forward, though.
Great defending from Lansing Common.
And as you see right there, 4 guys in white able to dispossess Munir Shirali.
It's been the same going both ways, just men on. And here Keith Larson just following that ball going towards Zach Kelly. Zach Kelly picks it up. Quick touch there from Trevor Togi, pokes it out of the way of Brady Walker.
It was a great shielding effort by Josh Adam. He knew what he needed to do to knock Keith Larson off half a step. Just enough for Zach Kelly to get on the end of it.
Yeah, and it looks like Josh Adam is the one who's going to take the difficult matchup against Keith Larson. And here we go. Shefq puts the ball out of bounds. Detroit ball here by the Common bench. Landonfield.
And Lansing Common, though they've had opportunities to play quick, they're not so much technical on playing the triangles that DCFC has been able to do in their past 9 games, now 10. And if you're Lansing Common, that only hurts you even more because this is a very disciplined team defensively, Detroit City. And if you're not able to work the angles,
a long ball all the way to Yaya, but Kyle Scott's gonna knock that one out. Kelly has it in his hands, waiting for options.
if you take a look, only 3 defenders back for DCFC. As they're putting so many men forward, it's allowing Lansing Common, if they get those opportunities, to have a couple of one-on-one matchups.
And booted away from by Sean Ellis. And again, Kyle Scott has Yaya on his back and it's calling for a foul. Just a little bit of a nuisance there.
Yeah, Yaya was 5 yards offside when Sean Ellis played that ball going forward. Kyle Scott didn't know it at the time. Still won the battle, but blown dead. Common will restart.
O'Connor with the long ball over to Shetty Omar. To the hands of Sean Ellis. Ellis rolls it back out. To Mathana. Mathana dribbling upfield. Goes past Ty Uziak, but doesn't get past Shefq. But Shefq puts that one out. It's going to be a foul.
Yeah, he put on the afterburners, and a great tug there by Shefq.
Ali Nasser takes that central midfield role now for Detroit City FC.
Oh.
Soga. There you go. Kelly boots that one out. And I think right here what Lansing Common need in these last 15 minutes approaching, it's going to be an injection of pace going forward. If they're going to sit back and defend and do the good old long ball, they need that injection of pace. And it looks like Ty Uziak and Shetty Omar, who've both played up to now, look a little tired. And they need that injection of pace if they want to be a little dangerous.
Yaya won the free kick off of Aiden O'Connor, who was a little bit monstrative going in on that. Took the man. And a free kick from just about where Julian Burge struck a laser in the first half is both Soga and Yaya. I would assume Soga will be the one to take it. Yaya with the dummy. And the wall for Common has to be looking onward.
Soga. Nasser puts it out. Crossed into the middle. No one there. It's going to be Lansing Common goal kick. We're now approaching 75 minutes played.
It was a bright idea, but lackadaisical execution if you're DCFC. Soga playing it through to Yaya. Neglecting the shot. He passed it over, but James Lee's, his in-service just failed him. And Common escaping so far with just about a quarter hour to play, but still needing that elusive third goal.
Elusive third goal and be structurally sound on the other end. And here goes Ty Uziak, tried a little heel flick. Didn't quite go off for him. It's going to be Detroit ball. Landonfield. Nasser. A little slip as he's getting adjusted to the turf field. Bernardini intercepted to Ty Uziak. Uziak now on the one-on-one with Lee.
Lee's going to win that battle.
Yeah, Lee won that battle, rightly so.
That's a foul, and the referee deems it so. Bernardini's touch a little bit too far in front of him, but the late outstretched foot by Yaya. And Common getting some bright spots going forward, and Yaya is going to get a little bit of a talking to. Only 2 cards, I believe, shown in this match. 1 to Bosch Tanyi in the first half. Never mind, actually, he only got a warning.
It was just a warning.
Bernardini.
Cal Scott's going to line up to take this free kick from about 40 yards out.
And Lansing Common
inside
smartly
the box,
defending with both Lutram Shefku and Marco Bernardini behind the ball. Only 5 players forward.
Aiden O'Connor, one of them.
In a sea of white.
And here we go. Great ball in. It's going to be a touch, and it's going to be out. It's going to be a throw-in for Lansing Common FC here.
By a Whiskers hair just inside the field of play.
I thought it was Lansing ball. Oh, it is.
It is.
It is.
It's a very good eye.
Detroit just a little too excited there. There's Togi to take the throw in at the left side, switching.
And you wonder at what time Coach Oakley will instruct his side.
Shetty Omar wins a corner kick, and this is where Lansing Common FC can be really dangerous. Now it's Mooney Shirali back on corner kick duty as Noah Canlis is substituted.
And once again, Common only putting a few players in the box, but it's their taller ones.
The taller boys are inside the box. Morissette, O'Connor, Omar. In swinging cross. Finds Aiden O'Connor and heads it in. Second goal of the season from Aiden O'Connor. And that's a spectacular cross from Munir Shirali to the back post. Aiden O'Connor, thunderous header. And Lansing Common are up 3-0.
That is a great ball by Munir Shirali. I believe Dante Morissette, his late near post run, draws a couple of defenders. But if you're Detroit City, how does that happen? Only 4 players in the box for Lansing Common in a sea of white, and Aiden O'Connor, arguably one of the biggest guys on the field, takes 2 guys on, pushes them aside, and notches his 2nd goal of the season twice in as many games in the MWPL.
And at that point, the only thing you can hope for, you're Aiden O'Connor, you put that thing on target. And as long as you put that thing on target and into the ground, goalkeeper's going to have a tough time getting a hand on that. And now Lansing Common up 3 goals against the league leaders, Detroit City FC, what has been a spectacular game so far.
And we talked about it in the pregame. Me and you, jokingly aside, we talked about, you know, the wide areas Lansing Common is going to have to play through. And I told you I don't want to say it, but set pieces are once again going to be a factor. Limited chances in the second half for Lansing Common. I believe that was their first grade A opportunity, and they make it count.
And so many goals from set pieces this season, and not just because of the goal scorers inside, but the service that Lansing Common has produced is impeccable right here, with Mooney Shirali today getting an assist off a corner kick, but Noah Canlis has been that other man on set pieces that's just been unstoppable. And Shetty Omar here bodying off 2 men, puts the ball out. Lansing get the ball back.
And Coach Oakley talked about it on Monday. The former great coach, Louis Van Hall, talking about, he wrote a book about soccer and football in itself and where the danger areas are. Zone 14 is one of them, which is where Julian Birch scored from, between that football hash marks and just outside the 18. But he also talked about how in professional football, the standard is...
And right there, Uziak steals the ball from Sean Ellis, crosses it in, cut out by James Lee. Togi gets a touch on the way back. Togi still up. Togi still on it. Togi not fouled.
No advantage played.
Shefku again, he's been putting in good minutes at that center midfield role.
No doubt he'll probably play the full 90 once again.
There we go.
And as I was talking about earlier, Louis Van Hall talking about set piece goals, corner kicks. Luca, you know what the average is per goal to attempt ratio off corner kicks?
What is it?
1 to 32. It's around that number. And Lansing Common They've scored more than that 1-32 margin this year.
For sure, defying the odds in set pieces. And like I said, it's not because of the goal scores they have there, but it's also because of the service that they put in. Just some of the best crossers in the league and some of the best finishers inside the box, alongside some big bodies in there. You see how Aiden O'Connor just calmly is able to get ahead on that. He's just one of the biggest guys on the field.
And as we're going to
see, and if you can find his head and if you can put him in the right area, it's going in. And here we're going to see a substitution as Ben Meshke for Lansing Common FC. Meshke, current Kalamazoo College forward, is going to come on for Ty Uziak.
And if you're a DCFC, that's got to be a little bit threatening because there's not a lot of film on Meshke so far in a Lansing Common uniform. But if you want a magician that'll pull tricks out of the hat, that's Ben Meshke. He's very versatile in that forward role. Allows Shetty Omar to get himself free. And he's not afraid to use his body as well.
Absolutely, and similar to Ty Uziak, you know, player who, like you said, not afraid to use his body. Clever in creating options for his teammates. And here we go, Dante Morissette with a throw in to Shetty Omar.
And Ben Meshke, a lot of trickery with him. He's also very good defensively. It's a very good defensive forward substitution.
And here we are, 82 minutes into this game. We should get around 3 to 4 minutes of stoppage time.
And Common, ever since scoring that goal, now have the plentiful possession, and it's meaningful. That's something that we're going to get an earload of after the game from Josh Oakley is, though Common did not have a majority of the possession needle until that third goal, they now have that meaningful possession in the final third. As DCFC having to play through the midfield for a majority of their spells of possession.
Here we go, Bernardini, Shefku. Shefku's pass cut off. And here we go, back out to Togi on the right side. Meshke. Meshke gets a touch. He's onside, but he can't keep the ball in play. It's going to be out, goal kick for Detroit City.
I don't think Meshke thought he was onside. His first touch lets him down, but if it's just a little bit cleaner, he's in on goal, and Sean Ellis hasn't looked his best today. The #1 goalkeeper, as we said, Hunter Morris, receiving a red card against the Michigan Stars, not available in the 18-man squad today for DCFC. But you're getting an adequate goaltender in Sean Ellis. He's played 3 games so far this season for LaRouge, but this one not his best appearance.
Togi playing there quickly with, oh, that's a clever ball from Togi. Meshke on the end of that. Meshke again. Meshke just gets bodied out by Brady Walker. Brady Walker on the ground now after a little bit of an after play.
That's a foul. That's a yellow card too.
It's going to be a tactical foul from Aiden O'Connor. Stop play there. But Brady Walker is down here on the far right side.
Walker had to put in a shift against both Togi and Meshke, 2 people you wouldn't necessarily think of going down that right side. And a tactical foul there by Aiden O'Connor earns a yellow card for his troubles. He knew what he was doing. Shoga, with time, was going to skip around the Western Michigan Bronco. As Walker's hobbling a little bit, he looks to continue trekking forward. And only one or 2 defensive substitutions available for DCFC today. And Sam Harsh and Lachlan Hepburn, who was the late substitution from the original starting 11 for DCFC. Dobson took his place.
And here we go with Soga near the half with a free kick. Lofts one in. Aiden O'Connor gets ahead on that. And then right here, Lansing coach is furious.
They wanted a handball.
They wanted a handball right there at the edge of the box.
And Josh Waits it did go off of the shoulder,
but maybe not enough to call it a full contact.
Oof.
And there we go.
And Shetty Omar is just looking to be a nuisance for the back line of DCFC. He's not really doing much to win the ball, but making guys think that he is, and it's working to his advantage.
Of course, with 5 minutes left, he's giving them more to think about. Maybe get another mistake in between that back line and counterpart. Now he has Ben Meshke at full fitness here with About 4 minutes left to go plus added time.
And if you're Shetty Omar, that only gives you more advantages because Meshki, you have to give him grace.
And speak of Meshki, here he goes. Dribbling past one, can't dribble past two. Shefke wins the ball back.
That's a foul.
Just holding him off. Look at that. How many times have we seen that from Shefke this season? Just wonderful to watch. Shirali puts one back in, but not available to find a player. Just a little too clever there from Shirali. And Keith Larson, heavy touch going forward. It's going to be stopped. Aiden O'Connor catches up to him, puts the afterburners on and catches up, and Zach Kelly can calmly collect that ball.
Yeah, it was a great pass, but it was basically telegraphed from the start by Shion Soga. Keith Larson trying to play himself and keep on side. Was able to do so. His first touch lets him down, and he just hasn't had the best of days with his first touch since coming on. And that's been the story of the game so far for DCFC, creating opportunities but not making the most of them and squandering them. And for a baseball reference, leaving runners.
Here we go with Yai. Bernardini. Meshki again, putting the pressure on there. And Meshki wins. At the pressure, Meshki's onside. He's in. He gets the shot. It's saved. Difficult angle there for Ben Meshki, but he was on.
That kid deserves a goal. He's trying so hard to get it, and he's getting multiple opportunities, but Lansing Common going to have to defend again.
There we go. Kyle Scott, tackle on Nassar.
Wow.
Togi, excellent.
From both of them, both Kyle Scott and Trevor Togi. Nasser thought he could take Scott one-on-one. He thought wrong.
Soga. And Mooney Shirali takes it away from him. And right there, Omar caught at the end of just a 50-50 with Detroit City FC, and ref's not stopping the game. Shetty Omar's down.
He's going to give that one a free kick as Omar is still down. There's going to be a couple of substitutions here as the Robin supporters are not too happy with what DCFC did going forward, but either way, Josh Adams commits the foul.
It's going to be another free kick for Detroit City FC around
and
20 to 25 yards out.
There's no way I do not see Shoga not taking this ball.
Yeah, it looks like Nasser's also lining it up here. And Shetty Omar looks like he's going to come off for the time being.
And a couple
as
of
the crowd on the other side chanting his name as he limps off.
I don't think he knows that he's still in. He's being treated.
Yeah,
but Rosendale will be
the man to replace Omar in the last 2 minutes of this game plus added time.
Oakley wants the double substitution.
Shirali coming off as well. Shirali with an assist today, put in a great performance after being out due to personal reasons against BIH. Comes back and puts in a great shift for Lansing Common. Mooney Shirali, the 21-year-old midfielder from Eastern Illinois. And coming in for him will be Owen Swan.
And there's decisions on the line as Shion Soga from about 25 yards out could elect to go for it.
And all Lansing players back to defend this free kick.
And watch out for Keith Larson on the back post.
Soga taking a couple steps back. Referee blows his whistle. Soga. Comfortable save right to Zach Kelly. Zach Kelly's been active today, and he's going to leave with a clean sheet performance. It's going to be 3 minutes of added time. It's going to be 5 minutes of added time here. Instructed by the fourth official.
So Rosendale's offside. DCFC going to try to play it quickly, but it's been a great showing by the Robins so far in this game. Another 5 minutes.
What might be one of their best performance this season against the best team in the league.
And sometimes tough competition brings out the best in you, and that's what we've seen today.
But you know what this could mean for the Robins, too? There could be a chance at silverware.
Yeah, we don't like to look too far into the future, but this was a pivotal game for the league standings, but still 5 minutes left to play, and everybody's going to be holding their breath until that referee blows the final whistle as Togi wins a nice challenge there. And he's done just that since coming on.
Fans are heading for the exits. Here you go, Brady Walker. Brady Walker, who's been active tonight and played the whole 90 minutes. Rosendale.
That's a great pass by Landefeld.
Great switch. And Keith Larson asking for the ball on that on that right side. Soga dribbling through players. And it's going to be comfortable to the feet of Zach Kelly. He's going to pick it up.
Yeah, Yaya was draped all over Kyle Scott. He did enough to put him off. And Zach Kelly ushering his troops forward, wasting as much time as he possibly can. And for all of DCFC's troubles today, Shion Soga, as he won that ball off of Swan, he's been their best player so far today. He's put in an absolute shift, and you have to give credit to the young man from Japan.
Absolutely. He's been Detroit's most dangerous player. And he was the threat in the first 20 minutes of this game.
Referee wanted to play the advantage as Yaya came in late on Rosendale with the can opener, flipped them.
And for Lansing Common FC, it's going to be Alex Scott is going to make his way into the game in the last 5 minutes of added time. Coming off, we'll see right now.
Yeah. Substitutions in this final few minutes for Josh Oakley just to measure the time waste a little bit of gamesmanship. And also to prevent any injuries from occurring as
Brady Walker wins that
still
ball.
a contested game.
Yaya. Togi gets a foot on it. Over to Rosendale. And we know how particular Josh Oakley is about earning a clean sheet. I'm sure against a team like this, a clean sheet for him will be even better than the 3 goals scored tonight.
Yeah, as Yaya looks to say something about it.
Nasser brought down.
He was looking for that the entire way.
It's difficult to call a penalty when you go in looking for one as well. And the referee, they're not playing any games.
Yeah, as we'll finally get that substitution. Scott, defensive substitution.
Soga will take the corner kick. Cross infield from Nasser. It's going to find its way out. Goal kick for Lansing Common.
We'll finally get that substitution.
Well, we will get that substitution now. Looks like Lutram Shefku is the man to make way. Lutram Shefku, brilliant performance by him again. It's very difficult to spot a bad performance from Lutram Shefku. Always gives 100%. He's always comfortable on the ball and makes the right passes. And today he had a great performance and is going to deserve here a standing ovation from the fans.
Yeah, you should be getting it. I think the fans are more worn out by the heat than they are of watching their home team put 3 goals past the league or the division leaders. But a great shift played by the Kosovo native. Ooh, 2 high boots there. Referee plays on.
Yeah, referee let that one go. Go Owen Swan, former Spring Arbor University player. Swan going down the left side, not able to beat.
As we're near the edge of the end of stoppage time here,
And
referee
it looks
continually adding time for the substitutions made, but it's a 3-0 game. But last little bit of running left to do for both squads on this very hot day in Lansing.
And you see here players and coaches giving each other the hug. And that's game. Lansing Common earned the 3 points with a 3-0 victory over league leaders Detroit City FC. here on the 4th of July.
Yes.
Goals by Noah Canlis, Julian Burge, and Aiden O'Connor seal the deal for Lansing Common today in what has been probably the most highly anticipated match of the season. Cam, you and I had this game circled on our calendars for many weeks, and today we were given a hell of a presentation. And to all of those of you watching, I hope you have enjoyed this. We're going to talk a little bit about the game right now. Cam, first of all, getting 3 goals today and the clean sheet, it's going to be huge for Lansing Common FC and Josh Oakley. I'm sure he'll be ecstatic.
Yeah, me and you both had this game scheduled. It seems like, or circled on our schedules for a while. It seems like we say that every week, but 2 pivotal games at home between BIH and DCFC. Both games, you needed the 3 points to have any sort of, shot at the division title, as there's no playoffs this year in the Midwest Premier League. But this team was up for the challenge, and they looked like in that first 15 minutes that they were willing to run with DCFC. They were willing to let them play their game, and they waited out their chances. And there were times where they were on their heels a little bit, but it was a collected danger, as it seemed, as Lansing Common was up to the task of defending against this DCFC team that does not concede often as base and has scored at will. But to get 3 goals past them and in the fashion that they did, you really have to wonder what Hunter Morse means to this team, because not having your #1 goalkeeper and playing an equally adequate goalkeeper in Sean Ellis, who maybe did not have his best of days in the Lansing Heat, but
Did save a penalty, though.
He did save a penalty, but it was the aftermath of that penalty that really strikes me, because DCFC, they needed that shot in the arm, and they looked impressive coming after that penalty, but they still let in 2 goals just before halftime. And the fashion that they did, it was a lot of the same things that almost hurt them in the first 15 minutes. And Noah Canlis, a great dummy run, was able to find himself with time and space, slotted it far post. And then Julian Burge, I guess when you have that spark and you have that flair about you, you're just going to go for goal.
Yeah, a player on excellent form, and he showed today why he's a captain of this team and why these guys look up to him, is because he can put goals like that.
And a goal from your captain, he may not be the most prolific of goal scorers on paper. You wouldn't have thought that, but to get that from your captain is a huge confidence boost for this team. And then to round it out, the last 15 minutes, after dealing with all of that pressure, Lansing Common getting the 3rd goal, putting the game to bed. Aiden O'Connor, once again, off of his head. But I just want to say terrible man marking and terrible defending by Detroit City in the final 15 minutes to put that game to bed. You allow Aiden O'Connor with only 4 or 5 guys in the box for Lansing Common against 8 or 9 players. That shouldn't happen. But for the Lansing Common fans, it's something to enjoy, and it's a great kickstart for the 4th of July celebrations and festivities that the fans will participate in.
Absolutely. And as we sign off here, we'd like to thank everyone for watching and enjoying this live stream. And as well, we'd like to thank our producer, Scott Oberlander, and as well as Dan Burr today, who worked the cameras. Excellent job as always. And as we sign off here, Lansing Common 3, Detroit 0. Your host, Luca Maloney and Cameron McLaren.